So let's just start right from the basics. You're going to need a gun. So you can either rent one or if you have one, you're going to need one. But the gun is the heart of this story, and everything that we're going to pack out and bring with us to the range radiates from there. So let's just begin at the top. You obviously need to pack and travel with a clear and empty firearm. And how do you validate and verify that? A chamber flag. Now we have our A Girl and a Gun chamber flags, which are wonderful, and they go in from the chamber side through the barrel, and depending on your firearm, right, you can finesse it in there, and they click in. The nice thing is many of them actually come out the other end, so it is visibly, there's nothing that can live in the barrel, and that's the value of the chamber flag. Now, it doesn't have to be this giant. Many firearms come from the manufacturer with an itty bitty poo chamber flag. They're adorbs, they're super cute, but sometimes they're just loose in the box and people don't know what they are and they just discard them because what is this weird little appendage thing? And of course, it goes in, and then we can angle it south and softly close the slide on it. This is great to travel with if you need to fly or transport. It gives you peace of mind, and anyone else looking in your pistol pouch, case, or bag can see and identify. No round can coexist with a chamber flag inside the chamber in the barrel, right? So that's a nice little visual indicator. There's also zip ties. Zip ties work great, and the neon bright colored ones are even better. I can only find a black one for this, but if it's bright orange or bright yellow, same idea. It threads through out the top of the chamber and out the end of the barrel, and everyone around you can see what's going on. Now, if you're a lefty, you're going to want some chamber flags. And if you feel like you just keep losing things, buy a whole packet of these wonderful long in the brightest color you can. Because if you're a lefty, you're going to put the gun down, chamber down. And because we can't see in there, before you bench the gun, you're going to need to chamber flag it so that when you put it down, I'll use the Girl and a Gun one so it's a little easier to see. You put your chamber flag in, when you bench it, chamber down, you have that visual indicator in place, and that's the value of the chamber flag. So gun, chamber flag. You're going to need some mags because there's no party if you're running a semi-automatic without any magazines. How many mags do you need, right? Typically, firearms, if they're new from the manufacturer, come with 2. I encourage people to get at least a total of 5. Now, we're not talking about concealed carry, self-defense, home defense magazines. We're talking just range training magazines, a bunch of these. And what I encourage you to do, get a bright silver or gold Sharpie marker, and you're going to want to put your initials. So I'd put TW, and if I had 5 magazines, I'd write number 1. So I've initialed and numbered my magazines. If your magazines are the same as the person next to you's magazines, how do you know whose is who? If you came with 5, you want to leave with 5 mags. And if you're missing one and someone accidentally scooped it, it's a quick way to check and make sure you have yours. The other value of numbering and labeling your magazines is if you drop this thing down the side of a mountain, and I don't know, just human me, I'm making up something, right? It goes whee, and something gets nicked, dinged, deformed, it gets filled with rocks or gravel, right? And it starts for whatever reason to misbehave. If of your 5 magazines, everything is running smoothly until you get to this one mag and then suddenly you're with problems. Is it the gun's fault? Is it your fault? Is it the ammo's fault? Is it the mag's fault? And if that magazine is the same problem child giving you those problems, then no, it's not you, it's not the gun, it's not the ammo. Blame it on her, right? And you can pluck her out and give her a nice tubby when you get home and make sure that she's good to go and doesn't have problems, right, that you couldn't otherwise solve. But that's a great tip there that I wish someone would have told me much sooner. So you need a gun, chamber flags, mags. Of course, you need ammo. We want to make sure it's ball ammunition, not self-defense or personal protection ammo, though it is very important that you know how your gun functions and runs and what it feels like to shoot that firearm with that ammunition. But for training purposes, for our clinics and our girls' nights out and our tea time shoots, we want full metal jacket, ball ammunition. And of course, the story with ammunition is please consider invest. We strongly encourage you to invest in true manufacturers ammunition from reputable vendors that are insured, that the ammo comes with lot numbers. So should you be the poor unfortunate soul who stumbles upon that fraction of a percent round or box that made it through production, that you have someone you can call, inquire, ask questions about, and that there's some chain of custody there. There's a reporting procedure behind it. Of course, if you run home loaded ammunition, it can be done very, very well. And I've seen it done very, very sloppy, right? It is a science, not necessarily an art. You can't multitask and load ammo. That's a subject for another night. However, just know that some manufacturers, if you do have a problem with that gun and the ammo, something happens and it's not a viable box or factory ammo, it might void the warranty. So read your owner's manual. Be careful about what you're choosing to feed your gun, right? Okay, beyond that, you got that happy. That's wonderful. We've got our mag, we've got our gun, we've got a chamber flag in it. You got to put it in something. Just saying, you can't just walk in with it in your hands. It's generally frowned upon. It makes us folks with range rather nervous. We don't particularly care for it. So you're going to need a pistol pouch, right? I love our pistol pouches on a girl and a gun. I just gave my demo one away to a new member today. So I'm sad I don't have our pistol pouch to show you, but it's in good hands. It's living a good life now, right? She needed a pistol pouch. She got a pistol pouch. So I much prefer ours. I like how simple they are. I like how clean they are. Of course, they say a girl and a gun, which we love. And it also has the nice arrow. And that arrow on the pouch is an indicator, if you pay attention to it, that if the arrow is pointing this way, you're going to drop the pistol into the sleeve such that the muzzle is also pointing that way. Therefore, when you go to unpack later, you're not guessing which way the gun is pointed before you unsleeve it to put it on the bench. So I have two other types of pouches here. I've got this awesome, super slick, super modern Magpul pistol pouch. And then I just have, it's a super simple utilitarian pistol pouch, zipper pouch from Proper. And of course, this one has the Velcro lining. People like to put mag pouch organizers in there. Some of them have extra zipper sleeves on the outside or pockets on the inside. You can really dress this little buggy up. But the idea, and even with this one, the rounded side of this bag can be great for saying, all right, well, it unzips towards me. So if it unzips towards me, I want to make the muzzle point, the pointy end to the pointy end. And when I go to put this in, safe direction, drop the gun in, and then I can zip it back up. And of course, whatever you choose as an orientation or direction, some people will put a star, a heart, a smiley face, a big old arrow. You can trick your ride with whatever you have. That's totally fine. If your zippers only run in one direction, that's also helpful. Zipper end, muzzle end, you can figure it out. But this little happy thing, if you can put mags in it, great. If you don't, whatever, there's other options. But the value of this, of course, is if you've got a giant duffel, a roller bag, etc., you don't need to put the heft of the whole thing up onto the bench and then try to unpack your gun from this massive beast of a bag. You can open that bag up, pluck this out, place it on your bench, and you can really keep a clean and simple workspace. And that keeps guns from falling off, gear from rolling off, and all kinds of ceasefires because we got to go downrange to get things. So these things are great. They also go right back from your range bag into your gun safe or storage vessel. And then you have a nice clean chain of custody. You get home, this comes out, safe opens up, this slides in, and you're good to go. Right now, if you have, of course, other people in your house, you do need to keep that ammunition locked up as well. So I know many folks take that entire range bag and they put it in another lockable vessel or closet, and then everything's buttoned up and put to bed neat and tidy. Bringing it home should not cause anxiety. And you should have a nice way to transition from your home to the range and then back again. So pistol pouches, nice little start. So that cute little bundle is good to go. We then, of course, need eye protection and hearing protection. You've got all kinds of options in this world. Please check our vendor discounts. We've got some amazing relationships with some incredible and outstanding high quality vendors and brands and products. Check them out before you go and shop around. See what companies are giving us love and what brands we're also endorsing. So hearing protection, these are I call them the Mickey Mouse ears, the over ear ones. When people ask me for my recommendations, there's a whole spectrum of budget for these. And can you buy quality? Sure you can, but I mean, you just need hearing protection. Do little orange foamies work? Okay. Yeah, they do. But they're going to only get you so far. And if you're someone who's sound sensitive, you might want to put orange foamies in, whatever color they are, pink, get the idea. Orange foamies in, and then put your over ears on top. Some of them are electronic, meaning if I turn them on, they're battery powered, and I put them on, turn them on, I can hear people whispering on the inside of the range, right? It doesn't totally deaden, it actually kind of magnifies the natural sounds of the environment. But they shouldn't overly express, if you're in an indoor venue, the white noise of the air system. Otherwise, that and some of the older models can drown out the sound, the voices of the instructors, or we don't want the sound to cut out when there's gunfire and the instructor is speaking at the same time, because you need to be able to hear that clear line of communication. So again, the more contemporary models, the models made in the last 5 years do a really good job of managing white noise. You want to be able to shoot indoors and outdoors, and I would say outdoor is easier to manage sound. Indoor, of course, is much more percussive. There's pros and cons to both environments, but I want ear pro that's going to serve me in both spaces. There's also in-ear, it almost looks like little hearing aids that you can plug in. There are custom molded to your ears. We have vendors at conference who you can sit down and they will custom mold ear pro so that it fits into the natural curvature of your ear canal and performs the same but a more fitted in-ear ear pro. Of course, it doesn't have sound magnifiers, but that's besides the point, right? You have that ability. And then, of course, I prefer a lower profile of the over ears so that they're not bulging out too big. And the too big ones, if you go to do rifle work, that bumps into that when you get your cheek weld. So if you're thinking about going into 2-gun, 3-gun, you're going to do our amazing 3-gun event that we have annually, which I encourage you to check out because, oh my gosh, you want to talk about fun? It's fun, right? You're going to want to, if you're going to invest in these, consider a set that's going to give you all of that bandwidth, right? You don't want giant ones that you're going to be like, ooh, frustrated with, and then, okay, I'll get slim ones. So if you're right out of the gate, slim electronic ear pro, lots of options, check them out. So let's talk about iPro, right? iPro is a big deal. This isn't an option, you gotta have it. So eye protection, you got all kinds of, a lot of people make iPro. There are the very simple, like $5 ones that are clears you can buy. Really anything you'd wear in a shop, metal shop, wood shop, etc., to protect your eyes. We need a barrier. Now we have some nuances about this though, that barrier. And can people wear their glasses? Yes, you can technically wear your glasses, but a pencil reader would be out, right? We need full cover of your eyeballs so that nothing coming this way could touch that soft, very delicate area. You only get to, that's it. Just saying. So we kind of got to protect them. And they're kind of a big deal. So take care of them. They're beautiful. We love them. One of our lovely features, right? Got to have it. But if you're newer, and I know we've got a flood of new folks, eyes are important, but here's some details that you need to know. For shooting, an eye pro, and I'm going to put these on because I think they make me look like I come from the Matrix and they're super cool. These are from Magpul, and I like them because they do this job. When I put them on, you will notice there is not a big gap. I'll try to look down. There is not, I could not, a 9mm piece could not go in between me and the glasses, right? They're pretty close to my face, right? I don't want to leave room for brass to fall in. The other thing that's important is, unlike readers or normal glasses, where the lens is kind of straight across and does create that gap, it also creates a gap on this side. So what we want for shooting glasses or safety eye pro is we want a lens that's going to wrap around us towards our temples to create a barrier on the sides as well. Because if you're shooting in an open range without partitions, people's brass can come in from the side, and we want to protect your face all the way around and not create a void or a pocket. So that's a big deal. And you look cool. I'm just saying, you gotta look good, right? Now, within the iPro land, these lenses for the shooting community, we do make ballistic polycarbonate lenses so that should you, I'm going to say this, I don't want to scare anybody, but in the highly unlikely, but not impossible in the scope of the world, possibility that a firearm comes apart, right, when it's being fired, you know that your eyes are protected and that that material can't shatter upon impact. And that's important. That's why shop glasses are shop glasses. Now, some things about these that I kind of care about that are kind of a big deal for me is the nose piece. So I have some pretty high cheekbones, like, right, I smile and you got that squishies right here, right? So on some iPro, and you'll notice that the lenses, right, they don't have an independent nose piece. The bridge of the nose in the glassware actually is just what sits on your face. And if you have a certain slope of nose and high cheekbones, then what happens is I can smile And as I smile, my cheeks move the glasses. And if that's what's happening for you, you will also probably notice, because you have that contact with your body, that they might fog up. And that, man, that can be frustrating. So you don't want your glasses to fog. You really notice this at indoor ranges with folks that are wearing clears. If it's really hot, people's glasses start fogging up. So if that's you, if you wouldn't buy a pair of glasses that sat on your face for that very reason, you don't want to look like you have two lines on your face from wearing glasses all day, then you're looking for eye pro that has a nose piece, right? And the nose piece are like this. These are Rudy Projects. The SSP, I believe, has something very similar. These little nose pieces, they kind of look like antennae on the inside. And what these do is they make contact with the sides of the bridge of your nose, of course, and they can kick, so I can smile and I'm not being touched here, but I also don't have a ton of room here, and I have the wrap. So that's a big deal. And that's why I choose that particular style of glasses, because I don't want to fog up my lenses and I want to get them off my face. And this is unique human to human. Lenses themselves, if you're in an indoor range all the time, you're probably fine with just a set of clears. If you're at an outdoor range, you definitely want to make sure you have some tinted lenses. Again, this is all a safety thing. And then they also make, I think it's called photochromic lenses, where as you are in, yep, photochromic clear. It's written on the glasses. I can do this, right? The more you are in daylight, the darker these become. Of course, they transition back to clear when you're no longer in an outdoor environment or the lighting conditions change. So those are eye pro and ear pro. You need the gun, you need mags, you need to transport it safely, you need eye protection, hearing protection, and ammunition. So if we're talking like real basics, we're pretty much there, except for, as you can see in the back, a pile of targets. It's over there, right? Targets. And I am quite partial to our girl and a gun targets. I've designed a lot of targets for a lot of folks. And I got to tell you, well, I didn't design ours. I love to use our girl and a gun targets. I use them in all kinds of classes, open enrollment classes. All the guys are shooting the girl and a gun targets. Why? Because we make phenomenal targets. The graphics are outstanding. The scaling, the sizing is phenomenal. They're graphically very easy to draw attention, hold focus. I love them. So if you have not yet taken a look at we've got a really cool collection, and it keeps growing, of graphics and targets. Some of them are seasonal, some of them are themed. And we also have some really cool prompts for drills and activities that you can work with on those. Check them out. They're on our website. Okay, moving out from there. If you've got nothing else, you're going to get some lubricant. Your gun needs lube. The details about this, though, make sure you're putting this cutie pie in a Ziploc bag, regardless of if it's a spray or a squeezy top or a drip, right? Because when this little guy opens up, it's a mess, an absolute mess. Ask me how I know, right? I have made this mistake once. It's kind of a learning moment. You make this mistake once, you never not confirm your lube's in a bag. Okay? If I've got a grab and go, and that's all I've got, gun, mags, ammo, PPE, lube at a bare bones, some targets at bare bones, I know I can go to the range and get a good workout, right? Bare minimum here.
If you like this segment, head to our website to watch the full video. Members get access to our entire library of exclusive content. Not a member yet? Now's a great time to join.